warm welcome to TV Africa News, and thank you for always joining us. This is Africa Today. My name is Najuma Lima, but first are the headlines. Court of Appeal to handle 50 cases in 10 days. Government to enhance salaries for all public servants in phases. Remains of father of Congolese independence to return to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Nakuya Yassin shine at the 2022 West Nile Golf Open. Welcome once again. Now the news in detail. The Court of Appeal is set to handle 50 civil appeals in 10 days in a bid to help deal with the problem of case backlog in Uganda courts. We have more.
According to the cause list issued by the court's registrar Susan Kanyange, the appeals will be heard between today, June 20th and 30th, 2022 by Justices Elizabeth Mosoke, Muzami Tuchibedi, Christopher Gashirabake, Irene Muriangonja and Eva Luswata. The cases to be heard, according to the cause list, were filed between 2013 and 2022. Some of the appeals to be handled include that of the administrator of the estate of Sir Edward Mutesa, the first president of Uganda, against Dr. Mohamed Kasasa, who are battling over ownership of a prime land in Mutungo, Nakawa division. The land under dispute is in Chadondo, block 237, plot 178 and 388 at Luzira Mutungo. Other appeals include that of Nachivuba Road, Old Kampala, Chiseka Market, Vendors Limited against Geoffrey Kayita and 3 others in regard to Chiseka Market land. Also, the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Lady Justice Jane Francis Abodo, is City Lawyer Alex Bashasha in another appeal. This is the third session to be held by the Court of Appeal Constitutional Court in the last 2 months as the judiciary seeks to help deal with the problem of case backlog in the courts.
Hundreds of runners from Uganda and abroad, with majority being fathers, turned up in big numbers to participate in the run organized to promote better health facilities for teenage mothers. Nalugo has more.
As one of the signs of commitment to the cause, these preserved the early Sunday morning rain to run in the categories of 21 kilometers, 10 kilometers and 5 kilometers. These were set off from Busega Natete and ran through various parts of Rubaga division with a view of creating awareness, fundraising as well as promoting physical fitness. Pastor Jonathan Cleveland from Colorado revealed that he decided to join the cause after being inspired by Remnant Generation, who have done a tremendous job in supporting the teenage mothers who at times get abandoned by relatives and fathers.
Fatherhood is hard, and it's easy to neglect your responsibilities as a father. I have 3 sons of my own, but we believe, as a man of faith, I believe that God calls us and empowers us and gives us strength to love our children and to be present in their lives, and that's what we're trying to raise awareness to. Even though it's difficult, we're calling men to rise up and to care for their children.
Annabel Nakabiri Sebachije, one of the founders of Remnant Generation, noted that over 7,000 people supported the cause, but 200 have practically participated in the run, which has marked a good start for this annual event. She added that the money they have collected from this one will be used to buy mama kits for the young mothers, training of VHTs and health workers on proper handling of teenage mothers, as well as proper information gathering from the girl child whose rights have been violated, among others.
So The funds that have been raised through the Father's Run, and many people are still contributing, are going towards a project we call the Safe Motherhood Spaces. And this is a program that targets to take health services to rural areas, especially where there is limited access. We have a team of medical partners that are taking free ultrasound scan. We are delivering free mama kits. We are providing free counseling and guidance to teenage mothers in rural areas. We are also training VHTs and midwives and other health workers on how to handle teenage mothers when they come to these health centers.
In 1966, US President Lyndon B. Johnson signed a presidential proclamation that officially declared the third Sunday of June as Father's Day. On this day, children acknowledge and appreciate the roles played by their fathers and father figures who are an integral part of their lives.
The Ministry of Public Service has revealed that government is committed to enhancing salaries for not only teachers but all public servants in a phased manner, thus urging teachers to call off their industrial action. This revelation was made by James Ruhinda, the Assistant Commissioner in the Ministry for Public Service, while addressing the press at Uganda Media Center, Kampala. Ahumuza has more.
Today marks 5 days since the Uganda National Teachers Union, an umbrella that unites all teachers across the country, announced an industrial action protesting the discriminatory salary increment by the government between arts and science teachers. While presenting the national budget on Tuesday, the Finance Minister Matia Kasaija announced 495 billion shillings allocation for enhancement of salaries of medical workers, scientists and science teachers, forgetting the arts teachers. However, while addressing the press at Uganda Media Center in Kampala, Ruhinda James, a commissioner from the Ministry for Public Service, revealed that government is aware of the teachers' grievances and is committed to enhancing the salaries for all public servants, but this will be done in a phased manner. It's from this background that Commissioner James Ruhinda called upon teachers to call off their industrial action, adding that Cabinet sits today to discuss the issue. The Commissioner further updated the country on the 11th Africa Public Service Day, which is to be celebrated on Thursday, 22nd June 2022 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds under the theme Bringing Citizens and Government Closer, Service Delivery for Socio-Economic Transformation. Among the preparatory activities for the day includes a sports gala for civil servants in football, volleyball, chess matches and athletics between ministries, departments and agencies, the African Public Service Day 2022 walk, and among others.
Let's take a quick break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. More than 60 years after his death, the remains of assassinated Congolese Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba are being handed over to his family today. Let's take a look.
Lumumba, along with two fellow fighters, were murdered on the 17th of January 1961 in Katanga. Only one tooth was found in Belgium years later. It is this relic that the Belgian justice system will hand over to Lumumba's family this Monday in a two-part ceremony at the Egmont Palace in Brussels. On Tuesday, the Congolese delegation will return to the DRC, where the relic will be taken to all places relevant in the life of the man who still embodies Congolese independence. Patrice Lumumba was a Congolese politician and independence leader who served as the first Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo from June until September 1960. A member of the Congolese National Movement, he led the MNC from 1958 until his assassination in January 1961 at the age of 35. After his death, his wife Pauline Opango Lumumba lived the rest of her years in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and on December 23, 2014, at the age of 78, Pauline died while sleeping in her home in Kinshasa, Congo.
Moving on, a joint project between a Nigeria film production house and Lagos state government is training students to make African stories for a wider international public. Nigerian filmmaking student Esther Abba is part of a new generation of Nigerian filmmakers who wants to take stories beyond a Nigerian audience.
Esther Abba says it's been an awesome experience because she sees film now from a different perspective and really understands what film is all about better now than what she used to know before. Nigeria's domestic film industry or Nollywood is massive and prolific, second only to India's Bollywood in terms of movies produced and well ahead of Hollywood. According to Theat Costin, Ebon Life Creative Academy head of school, there is a lot of talent in Lagos, in Nigeria, but to work on an international scale it changes a little bit. So what the school does, it formats the way people work on an international standard. In other words, they allow the students to go through a full production cycle from script development to casting, to pre-production to production and post. Nigeria's film industry made up 2.3% of the national GDP, or $660 million last year, and the rise of streaming platforms is also creating demand for better films from beyond Western studios. For the Lagos state government, the investment was part of a drive to help the city's creative industries. 2 more film schools will be part of the program.
Away from that, Rachel Keke, a former Ivorian cleaning lady, was elected to the French Parliament on Sunday. The new member of Parliament was part of the new left-wing alliance, NUPS. The 48-year-old promised a voice to the voiceless.
While speaking after her election, KK highlighted how she is a voice to the voiceless in all invisible jobs that is made: a cleaner, security guard, care assistant, home helper, to mention but a few, thus declaring at the National Assembly that these jobs will become visible during her term. She further said that she will be meeting all the young in her constituency who always said to themselves that France is not good and they are to work together to offer them France with a new face. The Ivorian replaces President Emmanuel Macron's former sports minister, Roxana, in a seat representing a Paris southeastern suburb. Former colleague of Rachel Keke, Sylvie Kimisa, a cleaning lady who could not hide her joy seeing that finally they had a representative in the assembly. Keke was one of a group of cleaning ladies who took their employer to court over pay and working conditions and won. Being an MP was not her plans. Left-wing alliances emerged as one of the dominant political forces after Sunday's legislative elections that resulted in the loss of President Macron's majority in parliament.
Delegates attending the Commonwealth Summit hosted this year by Rwanda begin work later on Monday at a series of opening forums. The week-long summit is expected to attract over 5,000 participants from government, business, and civil society under the theme Delivering a Common Future.
Foreign ministers from the 54 Commonwealth countries are due to meet on Thursday, followed by the heads of government summit 2 days later. This year's meeting has an agenda about climate change, economic development, and opportunities for young people, with 60% of the Commonwealth population under the age of 30. The summit is normally held every 2 years, but was postponed in 2020 because of the COVID pandemic. The choice of Rwanda as a host has caused some controversy because of its human rights record. The Commonwealth is a group of countries that, in the main, were once governed by Britain, but others such as Rwanda and Mozambique have opted to join.
Let's once again take a quick break. We will be right back.
Countries' needs according to the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization.
In our health news today, the Technical Advisory Group on COVID-19 vaccination composition and the World Health Organization, with the support of its Strategic Advisory Group of experts on immunization, issued a statement on updated COVID-19 vaccines. Let's take a look.
The Technical Advisory Group on COVID-19 Vaccine Composition, an independent group of experts that periodically reviews the evidence and analyzes the implications of emerging variants of concern on the performance of COVID-19 vaccines, published a statement to the composition of current COVID-19 vaccines. To complement the Technical Advisory Group on COVID-19 Vaccine Composition statement, the World Health Organization has explained the decision-making considerations for the use of variant-updated COVID-19 vaccines with the support of the Strategic Advisory Group of experts on immunization and its COVID-19 vaccines working group. In summary, both statements reiterate the current COVID-19 vaccines, which are based on the ancestral strain of SARS, continue to exhibit strong protection against severe diseases and death across all virus variants seen to date, achieving high coverage rates with the primary series in booster doses in the highest and high priority use groups in every country remains the priority. They further contend that continued virus evolution is expected, resulting in the emergence of new variants. The TAGCOVSE advises that including Omicron in a modified vaccine composition and administered as a booster dose is expected to broaden immunity while retaining protection against severe diseases and death. The World Health Organization emergency use listing of vaccine product with a modified composition of or its approval by a stringent regulatory authority will allow SAGE to provide policy recommendations for its use.
And in sports, the 2022 West Nile Golf Open successfully climaxed in Arua City. Handicap 1 golfer Yasin Boyi scored 71 gross to topple the race in the gross category. Ahumuza with more.
Yasin was 2 strokes better than handicap 5, Siraji Onzima 73, and 7 strokes ahead of Emmanuel Dramadri, handicap 6 with 78 gross. Hilary Afayua, handicap 21, was the most outstanding in this section with 64 net. Tony Ochen, handicap 8, scored 70 net to win Group A, ahead of Jimmy Matata, handicap 7, and Rajab Piwang, handicap 7, who returned 72 and 73 respectively. Handicap 16 is Fawad Sahim, scored 69 net, ahead of Tony Drazu, handicap 14, who had 72. Akim Achiri, handicap 16, scored 73 to take 3rd place in the group. Joseph Achi, handicap 28, won Group C with 69 net, ahead of Derek Olel, handicap 24, with 71, and Isaac Atiku, handicap 25, who scored 73. Patricia Nakuya was overall winner in the ladies section. Seasoned female golfer Wendy Angudeyo took Group A, while Beatrice Akulia shone in Group B ahead of Vicky Mvikia. Dr. Isaac Atiku and Jennifer Opio won